Welcome, dear visitor. I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird, but I have a cold and I can't get rid of it. This is the second take of the video, or actually third, because I always use the microphone somehow wrong and there's always some sound. So yeah, as I promised in the introduction video, today I'll be showcasing the first model I ever made, and that is me, Doloh. So what will you get from this video? Well, if you plan to make your own model, I will try to give you some nice advice and some idea of what will be the amount of effort you should expect to put in. So let's go. Timeline. This model took me a few months to complete. I took long breaks from it for no valid reason. I just got sick of drawing after months of working on it. Yeah, that pretty much describes my working ethic. But other times I worked on it non-stop for weeks. The two main parts were drawing and rigging. When it comes to drawing, I expect you to have some experience with the digital drawing. The less you have, the longer it will take you to make the model, or you just have to really lower your standards for how it looks. Or you can commission someone if you're not broke like me. Even though I personally have always been into anime, I used to stick to more classical art due to some societal pressure, especially because of my judgmental family. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. So I also had to adapt, and it took some time. But if you believe in yourself, you can do it. And I do believe in you, okay? No matter if anyone judges anime or anime style, I think for a lot of people it has healing and relaxing function. It just gives a great break from reality. So guys, don't listen to any judgmental assholes and do whatever makes your heart happy. I wish I could have realized that sooner. I mean, if someone wants to judge you, they will always find some reason. So let's give them some that. So let's just do whatever we want to do. Initially, when I decided that I do not want to waste my free time just on consuming YouTube videos and Twitch, I decided I want to create my own visual novel. Yeah, that was the first project. Even though I never really wrote a coherent story in the last 5 years. Hello? Yeah, we are staying Delulu with this one. Well, it's just a nice dream to create some imaginary world that will follow your thoughts and ideas, right? Not like this one. Well, working on that, I got an idea last year that I would love to make some content for YouTube. Back then, I started to watch Queso, and I don't know why, but his story is so unreal yet real that it motivated me to create this channel. Also, he has like this comforting energy, it's crazy to be honest. Oh, and by the way, if you have a dream to make something, this is your sign to go for it. Go, go, go. The process. Should I do a no-face channel or show my face? In the end, I wanted it to feel more personal, so I figured I would need some kind of face. Since I like to keep my creative person somewhat anonymous, I decided to use what I was already working on, designing anime characters, and just create one for myself. To be honest, I didn't expect the drawing part to take so long. I had never rigged anything before, and that part still probably took only quarter of the drawing time. But I guess that's because you just have to split everything into layers, so you end up drawing a lot of elements separately. And yeah, if you're a perfectionist, that also does add some time to the process. The cool thing was that I could work on the drawing anywhere as long as I had a bit of privacy and my tablet charged. I really hate to draw anything when someone looks at me though. Definitely no trauma, haha. Anyway, it took a while before I felt it was good enough. Probably like 4 months of free time. How the heck was it so long? Some people literally make the art in few days, so maybe don't use me as a reference. I mean, I guess you could also use somehow some AI to do it to speed it up, though it kind of loses the personality and humanity humanity it would get from being created from a real human. So I will leave it to you, no judgment. The background. When I was finally finished with my model, I decided to also make an animated background that would fit the vibe I was going for. Scholarly fantasy chill vibe, I guess. I couldn't really find any free ones that I liked, so I ended up recycling an old concept background from my visual novel. It wasn't too hard to make, though making the loop seamless was annoying as hell to like continue. It's still not perfect, I just gave up. I ended up with 4 modes of the background. One is day and night, and each of them has either simple lighting or color changing effects. That said, the background was probably unnecessary, so if you are short on time, definitely skip it. It took me like 2 weeks of free time, I think. I've seen a lot of VTubers use just static backgrounds and it doesn't break the immersion at all, so go ahead. The visual direction. How did I design Doloh? Well, it was kind of weird, but from the beginning I had a rough idea of what I wanted. I wanted to create some content related to psychology, so she had to have at least somehow a formal vibe. That's why I gave her some suit in some sense. Do you see the Jung in her? By the way, when I told to my friends the plan of combining VTubing and psychology, they looked at me like I'm crazy. But you know what? You never know if something's gonna be good until you try. Back to the design. So I used elements that I found cute, like stars in the eyes that were inspired by the controversial Oshinoko, or opalescent hair highlights that just remind me of like minerals and gems, which I just love to look at. You can also see that sometimes in my accessories. And also, I wanted her to be in some sense angel. She has a complicated past, but she used to be one. Maybe I will give her some angel wings one day as like Doloh X Job edition. If I can give one piece of advice, if you're making your own VTuber, try to combine elements of your content you want to do with personal things you love. I think that will make it uniquely personal, not just to you but also to others. You're going to be staring at your character a lot, so it helps to make them both visually pleasant and meaningful. Also, originality is important, but maybe more important is that your character just looks good and feels right. You're a creator, so make something beautiful because you can. It seems like consumers hate the wasted opportunity of making characters hot as possible. Well, maybe I am guilty of that. I really did not want to make her bust like too big or too visible. Yeah, I wanted to keep the vibe a little bit more professional here. For inspiration, I looked at some favorite characters that stood out to me visually. For me, that was a mix of Jibril from No Game No Life and Ekigna from ReZero. And the white eyelashes were probably subconsciously copied from Gojo, of course. A lot of people also recommend sticking to a certain color palette. I chose a few main colors, white to black, purple and green. I like all of those and I think they work well together. Green nicely contrasts the purple. I also use a lot of Pinterest boards for inspiration, which will influence my recommendations forever there. Do not be afraid to use references, even of real clothes or people. Sometimes they work better than the anime ones. Rigging. When it comes to rigging, you can do it. It takes time to learn, but it's not that hard. You just need time and patience. Sometimes you will get stuck on some mistakes, but usually someone else before you got stuck on them. So do not hesitate to visit Reddit and check the Live 2D subreddit. Also, before you start rigging, make sure you are really happy with your drawing. I was an impatient dumbass and had to change the facial structure 3 times during the rigging process because I kept being unhappy with her head being too big. Tuggles. Here I would like to show you some Tuggles I did. Maybe it was unnecessary money, but it was fun to make. Oh yeah, I have glasses. I'm so smart with them. Yeah, here you can see the hail. Wow! maybe I will make some tutorials for them in the future. Would you like that? Tutorials. Ultimately, I definitely recommend tutorials from Merle Wufe. Her tutorials are really comprehensive and you will get a great finished product in the end. It was literally the only tutorial I really needed. Software. As for the software, if you have enough free time, the Live 2D free trial, which is 1 month long, is enough to rig your whole model. If you want to track your face using your phone or iPad, you will need additional software to stream to your PC, either VTube Studio Pro or VBridger, which adds more facial expressions. By the way, not sure if this is a bug, but if you buy VBridger, it costs $10. And you don't need to also buy VTube Studio Pro, so I think that's a very nice little hack. Do you have any further questions about this journey? Let me know in the comments. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe and leave a like. I have been thinking of creating a little pet companion for myself, but I can't decide. So far, I'm torn between a cute crow, a cat, or a pigeon. A lot of people hate pigeons. I hope you're not one of them. Let me know which one you think would suit me best. See ya next time!